Hey everybody, thanks for joining me here at Power Mods. Mark from First Place Parts sent me a bunch of different goggles and wanted me to show them to you and try them out on different helmets and just see what we thought about fitment and how they worked. Now, one thing I noticed about goggles, you can never have enough pairs of goggles. When I'm riding, I have the set on my helmet and I keep 2 in my bag at all times, because when you're working hard, riding technical, you're in the powder, playing really hard, you got to pop your helmet off several times because you're getting stuck. They just get fogged up. There's nothing you can do about it. Even if they're anti-fog, you've put anti-fog cleaner on them, they're still going to get fogged up, and that's just the way it is. It's just the reality of riding hard. So I always keep those 2 extra pair in my bag and I swap them out. Sometimes I'll put them in the nice big goggle pocket here. They'll dry up. After just a few minutes, I'll just be able to pop them back on, switch them out all throughout the day. Now, when using these different goggles, the manufacturers who produce these, in conjunction with their helmets, usually tend to make a pretty nice fit. And any wind leakage you might get in around the sides might not seem that important to you, but if it's a really cold day, you're going to end up with frostbite. I had frostbite down here a couple times because I forgot my balaclava and I had a bunch of issues. But for the most part, if you can get a set of goggles made by the same manufacturer as the helmet, you're going to minimize any leakage that you're going to get around your face. Now, keep in mind that everybody's head shape and size is different, and you know what? Sometimes you're just not going to find the right goggle combination with the manufacturers. That's just the way it is. You need to try them out and see what works best for you. Now, with these Evolution Series helmets, we use the Aviators and the Sinister goggles. One fella in the group noticed that he had a little wider face and the 509 goggles sort of crimped in pretty close to his eyes, so he had a bit of an issue there, but as soon as he popped on the Sinisters, he didn't have much of an issue at all. Now, these Aviators here, I really like the look of them. Brings me back to my flying days. The colonel up at the camp liked them. He's an F-18 pilot. He really liked these ones right here. But one thing you'll notice about the 509 Aviator is when you look at it from the inside, you're not really getting very much more view than any other goggle. It's just that the lens actually covers more of the foam surface. We did try these climb radius goggles, but we figured we had an early model because these lenses actually fogged up in between the lenses. We had to split them apart, dry them out with a hairdryer, then we were back on the trail again the next day, and we really didn't have a problem after that. We just went around, we squeezed the seal all the way, and then we didn't have an issue. But we've been in contact with Climb, and they're going to replace these lenses for us because I think maybe they had a bad batch. Very well constructed goggle. Now, you'll notice on these goggles that these rock stars here have a bit of a frame extension that goes out, and it has a tendency to pull in on the goggle a little bit better around the side of the helmet. That comes in pretty handy depending on what type of helmet you're using as far as fitment goes. Sometimes the strap on these goggles, depending on what helmet you're using them with, will actually pull out on the goggle and leave a little gap right in there. So that might not work for you. If you have a chance, your buddy is using a 509 goggle or a Rockstar or the Scott, try them on with your helmet, see what works for you, and then buy what it is that's going to be the best. Now, these Rockstar goggles are actually adult size. This is my son's helmet, and these fit him no problem. He actually really likes these ones a lot because, well, he thinks he's a little bit of a rock star himself. Now, for me personally, I've tried all these helmets, all these goggles, worn them many times, and these Scott goggles, wow, they have this big, giant, wide piece of foam. And you know what? These are the most inexpensive goggles in this lineup right here. But this big, wide foam fits over my face no problem. I get absolutely no wind leakage, and it covers right in and around the entire rim of the helmet, which is what you want. You want to make sure no wind gets in there. Because when you're riding, no matter how comfortable you are from the feet up, you got to have a nice, solid seal around your motocross-style helmet, or you're just going to be miserable. So I found these to be the best fit for my face. I talked about fogging up earlier on, and these Climb Radius goggles use zero fog or no fog technology. Yes, they lasted a very long time without really fogging up, but depending on how hard you work and if you get stuck, you just have no choice. The heat comes up from around your helmet, things are going to start to fog up eventually. So one thing you can do to battle the fog and the frost build up in your goggles, get this 509 little fan here. This goes inside your goggles, has 2 speeds, and actually does help with the fogging issue. The other thing you can use is this Scott anti-fog cleaner. Now, a handy little tip for you, I noticed that when I was riding on the trail and I had fog buildup or frost buildup on my goggles, I'd pull them off, take out this anti-fog cleaner, which I kept in my pocket, it was nice and warm. I'd just spray it along a couple times, then I'd pull out the goggle bag, wipe it off, put it back in my pocket, things would dry up, and they'd be ready to go for the next time I needed them. Now let's say you've tried a lot of different helmets on with goggles and had issues with fit and feel and frostbite. One thing you can do, make sure you're wearing the right balaclava. You got to have it so it's in nice and tight to your eyes. A big balaclava that comes up and around through here, well, that's not doing anything for you. It's not fitting right. You need a smaller balaclava. So I know I've given you a lot of information here. I hope I haven't confused you too much, because it's something as simple as a little air leak in here is going to drive you crazy. Now, when you want to buy any of this stuff, make sure you give firstplaceparts.com a call. Tell them Louis from PowerMod sent you. Check us both out on Facebook and give us a big old thumbs up on YouTube. Thanks for watching PowerMods.